Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Featherhoof.
And I'm CarnagePanda.
And welcome back to Anime Talk for summer of 2018. Our sincerest apologies for the lack of episodes. We've been busy. We've had... Schedules have not been lining up properly. I had Extra Life 2 weeks ago, so we couldn't get together then. Someone had to watch the midterms, so then we couldn't get together on that day.
I have no idea who did that.
Yeah.
I got caught up in an explosion.
Right. Yeah. He was saving orphans from a burning building or some shit. Yeah. What? And then the next week after that, things didn't line up again. So we had 3 weeks worth of anime to catch up on. We did our best. We're going to talk about what we saw. And we hope you guys are excited to hear about it, about what the anime that we crammed into our brains, at the last second, so we can come back to talk to you about it. Hopefully we remembered it all, because that was, 5 hours worth of anime in the past couple of days? So...
It could have been a lot.
Yeah. So, with that, once again, because there's just way too much... no ranking system this week. We're just going to talk about it, what we liked, what we didn't like, what animes we're really excited to keep watching, and which ones are kind of losing our interest. So with that, let's just go right into the list. And our first anime this week is the ever-beloved Banana Fish. We only can talk about one episode this week. It was episode 5, right?
17.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is Banana Fish. So, Leslie, what happened this episode? Ash meets up with his gang once again, who is in a meeting with Sing.
I guess.
And it's sort of like Sing almost reveals to the gang that, both the Ash's gang and also to his own, what happened to Shorter. In which Ash basically goes, "Shut the fuck up! Shut it!"
Yeah, I get the feeling they just kind of skipped some stuff here, because Sing's just like, yeah, I know what happened. Okay?
Yeah. No, they didn't skip it.
No, he just says...
AG told him.
Yeah, he said, well, whatever.
AG told him in the previous episode.
Don't poke logical holes in what I'm saying.
Reality pokes holes in what you're saying. I don't have to do anything. They'll do it if I don't.
Okay. Whatever.
Tell him. Tell it. I keep smacking this microphone. Jesus Christ. So, for reasons, I actually don't remember if he actually explained his reasoning behind it, but Ash is just like, don't tell anyone. And Sing's like, but they'll hate you. They'll want to kill you. I think I don't care.
I think he was coming from a standpoint of this information is dangerous, and if your guys know it, it's gonna get them hurt or something. That's what I gathered from it.
The only thing I can gather from it, and that's actually a good thing, but the only thing on my own I can gather from it is Ash wants Banana Fish to be as unknown as possible. He doesn't want, he wants it to be destroyed, buried, forgotten.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that kind of makes him sound like he's going down a Golzine path with his 200 IQ.
Which, oh my god, Golzine in this episode. Jesus Christ. But, yeah, it was just... So, AG and Ash are reunited, and it's... They have a very, sitcom-esque relationship. They're like, hey! And then, Ash sort of takes him on, a tourist trip around New York.
Yeah.
Let's go to Staten Island and...
Wasn't he like, let's not go to Staten Island?
Yeah, he's like, we're going to take the ferry. And he's like, I've never been on a ferry. which is hilarious when you remember that they are a gay couple. And AG goes, I've never been on a ferry. Really? You haven't?
You had to go there?
You're damn straight I did, because when I was watching that episode, that made me laugh to no end. But while they're on the ferry, Ash gets a sudden... His Spidey sense goes... Apparently Ash has Spidey sense?
He has a 200 IQ. He has an aimbot. I would not put it past him.
Yeah, so, you know... Ash is, you know, he's broken into the Matrix. He's hacked the Matrix. And he senses someone nearby. The fuck? That's it, we're not going to Staten Island anymore. Fuck that noise. So instead, we're going to go to the library. Yes, the library. And I'm going to look up stuff about banana fish, you know, the chemical compositions and what it possibly could be.
I'm curious because I've never been to New York City if the library is actually as big as it is in this show.
I haven't been to New York since I was 11, and I will tell you now from what little bit of memory I have of the place, everything was fucking huge. But then again, I was also 11. So everything is huge when you're 11.
That's very true.
So I mean,
grow up and everything gets smaller.
This is kind of true, yeah. So they go to the library and AG is bored. So he's like, they tease each other, and he's like, you know, what did he go? What did he give him money to go get?
It gave him money for something, and he's
like, go buy yourself some manga.
Yeah, go get some manga. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go get some hot dogs instead.
He's like, oh, fine, I'll do that, and I'll get a hot dog. I love it. He like threw it in his face. He's like, and I'm getting a hot dog.
That'll show him.
Yeah. And then after he leaves, his Spidey sense goes off again. He's like, I'm going with you to get the hot dog. I'm in one too. It's like,
no.
He goes the whole episode, everywhere he goes, his Spidey sense is going off, and we always see, like, the corner of a shoe.
Yeah, he couldn't even... He didn't want AG going alone, period. He's like, you gotta go with me, or you gotta go with my bros. They gotta cover you.
Yep. Which, I mean, good plan. Very good plan.
Now, this is the same episode that Ute Lung also goes full badass, right?
This is the one where he goes psychopath, yeah. So... Well, we'll get to him. We'll get to the secondary plot of this episode. So, actually, no. We should get into the secondary plot of this episode because it actually fills in the gap of the first plot. So while this is all happening and they're having their little tourist trip, Ute Lung and Golzine meet up. Like Ute Lung is like using his banana-fished brother's name to summon Golzine to their mansion, and just like lays it out. He's like, okay, look, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna kill all the people who voted you out of your position of power so you can have complete power over the entire association. And in return, you will kill all my brothers and their wives and the kids. We will wipe out the Lee bloodline. And Golzine's like, well, I don't know. This seems rather risky. And then Ute Lung goes, and I will hand you Ash, hand you Ash. And then Golzine goes, I'm in.
Deal, we're sold.
Good, we're doing it.
Golzine's narrow-minded focus on Ash. This is going to be episode 24. Ash puts a bullet in his head.
I think we all saw that from episode 1. I mean, it's going to happen eventually.
And he's going to deserve every last second of that bullet going through his head.
Yes. So, I love when... Okay, so we go back... Ute Lung, actually puts his plan in motion. He actually goes to one of his brothers, summons him. He's like, why was Golzine at your place?
Yeah, this brother's super tilted at him and giving him the fifth degree, and Ute Lung ain't having none of that.
No, but he grabs Ute Lung by the ponytail, he's screaming in his face, and then all of a sudden, 30 Golzine men, bust into the room, and it's just like, what is this? What's going on? He's like, and Ute Lung just tells him straight out, I'm here to wipe out the entire Lee bloodline for what you did to my mom. Fuck you.
And this guy gets promptly, brutally murdered.
He gets perforated. Pretty good. That's what I say when he gets lots of bullets put in him. And, yeah, he has this, the usual, calm Ute Lung face, with the benign smile is gone.
That's extreme prejudice.
He has, pure psycho face. It's it was actually kind of terrifying a little bit.
Ute Lung final boss?
Ute Lung final boss.
We'll see how that turns out.
I say Ute Lung is the final boss, and Golzine is the prize.
Ash is the prize.
Ash putting bullet through Golzine is the prize.
It's gonna be in his head because of the aimbot. There's no way.
I don't know. Part of me believes this show's gonna end in a tragedy. I don't know, but
I mean, we have to resolve Sniper Dude that just showed up.
well, we need to get to that because we diverged. So we go back to Ash, and he's. I love it because AG comes in, like walks in, he's like prepping himself. He's like, "Do I look like what was it, a 15-year-old?" He's like,
yeah, Ash is like, how young do I look?
He's like, "Well, I don't know why." He's like, "Because I'm going out prostituting."
Yeah, like what? and then Ash, AG is like, but, and he's like, I'm going prostituting.
No, it goes right over his head, and he just walks. But he walks. No, he says like, it was like, I don't even know what that means, or something to that effect. Where it's like, if that's a joke, I don't get the joke. And then he's like, so where are you going? He's like, I meant I'm going prostituting. To which, the next scene shows Ash in bed with the he had a name, but I always laugh because before we had a name, he was just referred to as the Republican. So he's in bed with him.
This poor guy.
Yeah. And Ash reveals who he is, and before he can do anything, he puts a gun to his gut while they're both laying there naked. Naked gun to the gut. Gotta love it. So he, like, threatens him with blackmail if he doesn't tell him everything he knows about banana fish. To which suddenly, there's blood everywhere. Like, bullet through the window, sniper bullet through the window just kills him.
Yeah, this is an amazing shot considering the altitude it's at, so it has to compete with the wind.
Yes.
It has to compete with the glass that's shattering.
I mean, we're talking about Ash, the dude who murdered, headshotted how many people on a subway train in the dark.
He clearly uses mouse and keyboard.
Yes. And even he was like, okay, judging by where the bullet is and where his brain matter used to be, you know, it must have come from that building. He's like, but there's no way. There's no way, it's impossible for someone to make a shot like that.
Probably is.
To which we get our first view of... to me, he kind of looks like Arden from Final Fantasy 15. He's just a sniper, and he just sort of like... He's like... Ash makes this move. The first thing he does is he cuts all the lights to the room, and he's like, you still remember...
That was the right move.
Yeah, I have a feeling this guy was like one of Ash's like tutors or something, or trainers.
Who knows?
Because he keeps saying things like, you know, when he meets Golzine, and he's like, you know, they're talking back and forth, and he's like, I want to see if the boy still has it, or, you know, I still want to see if the boy still has this or that or the other. He's talking about as if they've met in the past.
Well, I would hope so, because Ash is still 17. You know, he's got a long way to go.
Yes. But what I liked is, like, when the guy meets up with Golzine, did they give him a name yet?
I don't know. They probably give him a name.
I don't remember.
In the episodes that we didn't watch.
Maybe,
we
yeah.
ran out of time.
Yeah, we only got to watch one episode of Banana Fish this week. It was this one. But I just love because he goes to Golzine. He's like, I came here to deny your offer and also to follow the boy. He you know, to check him out. And he's like, his senses are superb. He knew I was there, even though he couldn't catch a ghost. He always knew I was there. But then, you know, so that intrigued me. So you know what? I'll take the job. Which they didn't actually say what the job was. Because Golzine wants him alive.
Given that this is Banana Fish, the job can't be anything good.
But the thing is, like, Golzine has specifically said he wants Ash alive so he personally can torture and kill him. He's so singularly focused on that.
Define alive.
Point taken. Point taken. So, the episode ends and Ash now has a sniper on him. And he's fully aware of it. And he now has to contend with that. I'm sad we didn't get to the next two episodes because I wanted to see how that played out. We will talk about them on the next episode of Anime Talk. As for this episode, I really liked it. It was setting up this new character, which, like I said, I'm gonna call him Arden until we get a new name. He's just, I love it. It's just trench coat, hat, scruffy looking sniper rifle. Like, high-end, massive sniper rifle.
I can't hate Banana Fish, but there was one point about this episode that really annoyed me.
Please.
Which I did tell you.
Well, tell them. Something
about this soundtrack in this episode had this beeping noise in it, and it just drove me crazy. I thought there was a truck that was backing up in my neighborhood, and so I paused the episode, and the beeping went away, and I was like, "Oh, that's part of the show."
See, I didn't hear it. I never recognized it. So I don't know what he was talking about, to be perfectly honest. But if you guys hear it, confirm it. Confirm it in the comments below. But I think if
or
this
deny it.
yeah, if he's wrong, let us know in the comments below as well. This actually was like a great episode of Banana Fish, I think. I like that they're still introducing mysteries. They're still introducing characters. We're still, I have a feeling it's going to show more of Ash's background. We're going to get more of how he's, so skilled and smart. Because this guy sounds like someone important from Ash's past.
Well, I don't know about that because we're on episode 17
Yes.
out of 24.
Correct.
And that leaves 7 episodes.
Yes.
Usually in shows like this where they have the arc, where it's double court, 24 episodes instead of 12.
Yeah.
Having this many episodes left is like just going straight into the final arc.
Well, we'll see what happens. Like I said, because they still, as far as I know, except for like in brief, like brief little bits of like conversation, haven't really shown or explained why Ash is talented at fucking everything.
They might have just skipped over it.
I don't know. I've heard that we were supposed to get that explanation, but so unless I forgot it, because
it's something that they do in anime for reasons. Is just let's skip stuff.
It's granted. All right, so that was Banana Fish, the only episode we saw. Now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of the episode, where every anime, but I almost said amine.
Aminaes.
I say that as a joke, and I keep accidentally calling it that accidentally.
Yes, we are Western anime watchers.
So every episode, every show we're going to talk about has 3 episodes we need to go over. So if we gloss over some things, our apologies, but we're going to do our best to talk about the next episode, or the next show.
And our number 2 show this week is going to be Double Decker, where we're just going to review episodes 5, 6, and 7.
Yes.
Which took us a very long time to get through.
Luckily,
we just get to gloss over episode 5 because nothing really happened.
That and 6 and 7 sort of went right into each other.
Yeah, 6 and 7, arc that's together. 5, just an outlier. They started off by doing that whole Derek and Carol joke again, where they're like, yeah, this is just, this had nothing to do with the show, so we're skipping it. Which of course is like,
those are the best parts of the episodes, when the narrator just jumps in to interrupt it. They are the best parts of the episodes.
The narrator is a pretty good character. I mean, he is a character in this show.
Yes, he absolutely is.
But what really happens in episode 5 is Rank Z, whatever his name was, it's like Zalba or something. He's in jail, death row, gonna get executed, and Doug and Carol are in there chatting with him to get information, and he's like gonna send them on a wild goose chase or whatever.
Because, that's what you do.
And they end up in an abandoned museum or factory or whatever.
I have no idea what that was.
And then Double Decker Joker shows up and they have a fight.
Bamboo Man,
as he's called. And Bamboo Man, he has Matrix powers, he can dodge bullets, and can fight with Kung Fu really good.
Which is completely contrary to the opening credits. The opening credits shows Bamboo Man getting shot down with bullets. With the anti-anthem bullets. And then episode 5 is just sort of like, nope, bullets do nothing, I'm good.
So, yeah, that's what we get, and then I'm not sure if it's an after-credit scene. But,
probably is. This show really does stuff to do after-credit scenes.
There are after-credit scenes in this show.
Yeah.
They show, like, the, agents of evil or whatever they're going to be,
Meanwhile,
What did they say?
at the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, the Legion of Doom. I was gonna say from My Hero Academia, which has the League of Villains, but the Legion of Doom works too.
I just like Legion of Doom because I like doing the Super Friends announcer voice. Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, so we have the Legion of Doom, who we only know about Bamboo Man. They don't introduce the other guys. They're just
they're there.
There.
It's like, hi, other guys. But then again, I mean, first episode of this, I introduced, I said that it reminded me of a lot of Trigun. Trigun, when they introduced the gung ho guns, it was like, hey, there's 13 dudes. And over time we slowly got to know who they were.
Then he battles them out. And
yeah.
Figure out.
So this is probably what we're going to get in this show as well. But they sort of just skip right over that. So they're like, okay, we're introducing these characters. Next episode is they go on Cops.
Yeah, they have an episode of Cops, and I'm kind of remiss that they don't play the Cops theme.
So it's called, was it Policeman 24 or something like that? Or
Something
Police 24?
like that.
And it's... So they go to answer... The first part of it is almost completely pointless, except for the fact that it sets up a bit later. It's just like, they show up on Cops, they have their faces blurred out, where they talk to a drunk man for about 15 minutes. And at least it felt like it. And,
okay, I did find the drunk guy to be kind of funny.
He was funny,
because of the way they were doing the voices.
Because they had to...
they pitch shifted them all up. And
yep. They did the thing where they pixelate their faces.
Well, I didn't really... That didn't really strike me as funny, but the pitch shifting of the voices, which I guess if you could do that, just...
Yeah. I don't know how to do that, but...
We'll figure that out someday.
But, so, what was it? Kirill, secretly, he has his landlady tape the episode because he doesn't want everyone to know that he's that self-absorbed. And he rushes home to go watch it again, in which he sees his sister in the video. He comes back to work the next day, and he's like, Doug, where's Doug? And Doug's in the AV room. He's like, Doug, did you see it? We had to go back to the scene of crime. He's like, you saw it too, right? It's like, yeah, I saw it. Complete misunderstanding again.
Yeah, so they're not even on the same page. Kirill saw his sister.
Yep.
In the video, and Doug saw a criminal.
Yes. So Doug takes him to go arrest the criminal, which he thinks Doug is taking him to go meet with his long-lost sister. And the announcer comes in again too.
This narrator's like, yeah,
once again, Kirill is a complete fucking moron. And at the bottom it has my favorite subtitle. It's like, prepare for minutes of Kirill's misunderstandings or something to that effect. And every time it's like, Doug says this thing and Kirill's all like, oh, he's acting like they're criminals. And it'll asterisk like, ding, they are criminals.
You got that one right, Kirill.
It's just like the subtitles keep showing up to point out how dumb Kirill is.
Well, they're right.
Yeah, they are. I think it's hilarious. It's awesome. And it ends with him arresting a dude who I guess was using Anthem, even though he didn't have no superpowers or anything.
I don't know. Maybe he was a distributor or something.
No, maybe
was just selling it.
So
I guess they had jurisdiction to go after this guy.
Yeah, that must have been the guy because it starts with them on a stakeout. That must have been the dude they were looking for, possibly.
It could have been,
but so so Doug then, after he finds out that Kirill thought he was helping to look for his sister, helps him look for his sister. And they sort of like, okay, we'll leave it up to Doctor, and we're all going to go out as a department for whatever reason for some reason they all as a department went out to Derek's, or Derek, is that his name?
Yeah, Derek.
Yeah, Derek's bar, and ta-da! There's Mila, Kirill's sister.
Yeah. Or as the subtitles called him, Delic.
Oh yes.
Well, not the subtitles. It was actually what they drew in the show.
Yeah.
He's Delic.
It's just, hi, I hired this new part-timer who won't tell me her name. And it's just like, ta-da! There's Mila.
Yeah, so Kirill has his reunion with his long-lost sister, Mila.
Yes. And, instead of asking her exactly where she's been, or why she left, or why she didn't take him with her, he just sort of is like, hey, tell me when you feel ready. I'm just glad we got to see each other again. And it goes to credits.
Well, I did comment on this.
Yes.
Before the end credit scene came up.
You did, yes.
Wasn't this just Kirill's voice actor doing the voice for Mila?
Well, that's because when the credits came back, there was a pretty big hint in the episode earlier when they were talking to the drunk man. The drunk man looked at Kirill, thought it was a woman, and when Kirill spoke, he went, "Oh shit, I thought you were a woman. You have the face of a woman."
I mean, I guess, yeah, there was some foreshadowing
Yes.
there. I guess, but this guy was completely smashed, and he could have been.
So
he had complete beer goggles there, and
so Kirill wakes up at the bar. Apparently, he passed out, goes to the bathroom, and inside the bathroom is Mila in the men's room taking a piss at a urinal. Mila's a dude.
that likes to cross-dress.
Yes, named
Andrew. I don't know.
No, it started. Doesn't it start with a D?
I can't remember.
God.
Yeah, we're terrible with names.
Yeah, we really are.
If you can't tell.
But then again, that's because Double Decker has some weird names. Like Kirill, first off, is a weird name, and then his last name is even weirder.
Kirill is the weirdest name.
It absolutely is. And Kirill's sister brother has an equally interesting name. And it sort of just like rolls right into the next episode with this scene.
Yeah, there's actually a continuation.
Yeah, it just picks right back up. They're back at the bar, and apparently Derek heard none of this. Because he comes back in and... Let's just say Mila, because we can't remember the other name.
Derek did hear none of it.
And Mila's about
Deanna plotted to never have him know anything about it.
Because Mila's about to spill the beans to Derek, and she like covers her mouth. It's like, shut it. And to which she has this great, I guess, long-term plan to mess with Derek over this for some reason.
I just get this. I don't get this feeling. This is how fall 2018 anime is that there's just a great deal of trolling going on.
So now, after that little like break, is like there was a weird little break in the middle just to introduce Mila. Then we go back to the Legion of Doom.
Yes, the Legion of Doom, where we still only know Bamboo Man.
Oh no, and Good Looking Joe. Which in Japanese
Good-looking Joe.
In Japanese, I learned how to say his name in Japanese. His name in Japanese is Good Looking Joe. Yes.
Now you know.
Yeah.
Some more Japanese.
I mean, if you watch Cells at Work, you know how to say Happy Good Day. So. But so the episode is
it's about Doug's revenge on Good Looking Joe.
Yes, because Good Looking Joe killed Pat.
Yes, Pat.
His former partner, which I guess turned out not to be a partner at all.
No partner at all,
but
they're kind of ambiguous as to who Pat is at the beginning.
And as the episode goes, Pat evolves. First it was his former partner, then was his information broker, then was a shoe shiner, and then by the end of it was a 12-year-old orphan.
It's a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah, 12-year-old orphan girl. And this is like, Doug sort of turns into like a one-man army. I mean, quite literally. The ending of this episode, I mean, most of this episode is Doug, like, he's on like a fanatical revenge plot. Where he's just sort of like, like...
He goes full Terminator.
He kind of does. He's like bringing people in and like being the bad cop and threatening them with violence to get information. And to which Good-Looking Joe, gets wind of this, and he invites him after. I mean, I'm truncating it. I'm shortening it down to its basics. Doug's former boss, who apparently
his former boss, whatever his name was.
Yeah, he betrays Doug to get him to Glass. I almost like Glass Joe.
Glass Joe. We're in full punch out mode here now.
Good Looking Joe's hideout, and Good Looking Joe calls him over the phone. He's like, "Hey, come to my place," and Doug's like, "Bring as many men as you want." I love that.
Well, first he
calls him out.
He's like, "Yeah, I'm a little busy. I'm gonna hang up now."
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Then he heard his former boss screaming in the background, and he's like, "If you don't come, he'll die or whatever."
And then we find out that he's been betraying him all along.
Yeah, he's been passing information
He
to.
wants some Anthem.
What was that? Anthem? Anthem was
it was like crack or something.
Yeah, it was just drugs. Yeah. But it turned out somebody who was used to be an officer specifically in the drug crimes unit was, a drug abuser.
Cop.
Yeah, drug abuser. Yeah.
And a drug abuser, yeah.
So he leaves, and this is just badass of Doug. He is a fucking badass. He threw his gun aside, and he had this other gun that he had given to Pat, and the Good Looking Joe's like, "Ooh, look, a Lady Joker pistol with 6 hollow points. Oh, you were really meant to you could tear someone up with this." And he goes to fire at Doug, and Doug just sort of like when you call someone's chess move. He's like, "I win."
He's like, "Yep, I win."
Because he's like, oh my god.
Let's just cue Admiral Akbar here.
Yeah. So he fires the gun. The first 3 are blanks. The 4th one is a flashbang. He somehow fit a flashbang inside that little pistol. I don't know how, but
this is a world where taking drugs mutates you into some kind of freakish monster that can dodge bullets. So
good point. And then he proceeds to incapacitate. What was it? There was at least 30 guards there.
Well, the gun he took had enough bullets in it.
Apparently, he arrests. Afterwards, he calls it
arrested them by shooting them.
And he goes up to Good Looking Joe with the Lady Joker. Apparently, the last 2 bullets were supposed to be good bullets. And he says, "I got good news and bad news." I love the good news. Oh, fuck. What do you say with good news? I love Good Looking Joe's reply.
Because what you've done, I can now claim as self-defense.
Yes. He's like, "That's not good news. That's good news for you, not for me."
Good Looking Joe did not like that news at all.
No. He's like, "The bad news is, you'll be dead, so you won't live long enough to complain about it." And he pulls the trigger. And it's like, oh shit. Did Doug, Mr. By the Books, just break the rules? Did he just break the rules for revenge? And he walks out, and that's when, Kirill just shows up right then, and he's like, they're all incapacitated and tied up inside.
Arrested.
Yep, they're all arrested. And they're like, oh, okay. And Doug's hand is all kinds of fucked up. Turns out, the gun backfired.
Yeah, that's not something you want to happen, but
nope.
I guess Good Looking Joe got some good news there.
Yes, he did. So it was a fun set of episodes. I'll be honest. I'm not hating Double Decker, but I'm not as in love with it as I was in the beginning.
Yeah, it seems like they're getting a formula going.
Yeah.
And it's not a terrible show.
No. It's.
I mean, the production values are pretty good, except for when they're like, and now you're CG.
Yeah.
But now you're 2D.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
It's so jarring.
You just make up your mind.
It's not as bad. It's not as bad and jarring as another anime we'll talk later about.
You know what? That doesn't even bother me.
Really?
It confuses me.
It's so fucking jarring. But anyway, these 3 episodes, I don't understand why Mila had to come first. I mean, I would have liked them to sort of, if they introduced the Legion of Doom, just sort of keep going with it, because I think Good Looking Joe was part of that Legion of Doom.
Yeah, we need more information on the Legion of Doom, because don't leave us hanging.
Yeah, it just sort of was like, episode 5, Legion of Doom is introduced. Episode 6, hi, there's Mila now. episode 7, back to that Legion of Doom. It's like, well, don't leave us hanging for a whole episode, a whole week. So we're slowly getting introduced to more and more of the syndicate, the Esperanza,
as they call them,
or Esmeralda, as the drunk
Esmeralda. We're going full Hunchback of Notre Dame here.
Anyway, so it's like I said, I still enjoy the comedy. When this show has comedy, it's on point. It makes me laugh.
I still enjoy the ending theme.
Oh God, the ending theme where it's just random English words just strung together.
Care. I don't care.
Oh my God, the narrator is still the best part of this show, but it's sort of like you said, it's feeling formulaic. It's almost predictable at this point.
Well, hopefully they can mix it up because we're getting
like the action. That's what the action part of it, the serious part of it, is incredibly formulaic, while as the comedy is random as fuck.
Yeah, they need to stick to the comedy because that's the good part of the show.
Yes. So, I don't know about you. My interest is waning a little bit. Not enough. I'm not hating it that I want to stop.
My interest is not waning in the Angels of Death kind of way.
Yeah.
Where I just wanted to kill myself. But it's like you said, it's just kind of wearing on me now.
A little bit, yeah. So that was Double Decker, and with that, we're gonna go ahead. If you agree with us, disagree with us. If you don't think it's formulaic, you think that we're being a little overcritical, in the comments below. Let us know.
Only disagree with Featherhoof, by the way.
Yeah, only wait, what? Shut up! Don't listen to that. Don't listen. Moving on to the next one. Moving on. And quickly, before we get back on that last subject, Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer was next, which, episode 5.
Episode 5 was disappoint.
It was. It's like, hey, you watch Goblin Slayer because you like Goblin Slayer, and you like Priestess, and you like Lizard Man, you like High Elf, and you like Dwarf. Let's follow this dude over here.
This week on Goblin Slayer, not Goblin Slayer.
Yes. We follow the lives of level 1 dude, level 1 sword wielder, and level 1 caster.
Level 1 sword wielder, I don't understand because he loses his sword.
Yep.
Like at the beginning.
Yep.
To a giant rat.
And he spends the rest of the episode trying to either find a replacement or how to get his old sword back.
And he does beat Goblin Slayer, and Goblin Slayer gives him some advice.
Which, by the way, that was the best part of the episode. Because he's like, he is so great. He's like, why don't you try a club?
Yes, the club. Okay, the goddamn club.
This is like 5 reasons why the club is good for killing goblins. Even though he didn't ask him about killing goblins.
It doesn't matter. The club is useful for more than killing goblins. This is like the best weapon in this world.
Suddenly, like, he barely was able to kill, 2 rats in the beginning.
He couldn't stop these rats with his sword.
But then he manhandles the crap out of 2 rats with the club as if it was nothing. It's like, blah, blah, blah.
This is like the most effective club I've ever seen.
And it didn't splinter or break or anything.
It was totally fine.
And then he does it to the giant roaches too. He just beats the crap out of them. It's like, whoa, this guy leveled up, apparently. Either that, you know what it was? I know what it was. He was not using a favorite weapon.
His favorite weapon is a club.
Well, no, it's like,
he's got weapon specialization in clubs.
Every class in D&D, there's weapons they can and cannot use. And if they try to use a weapon they cannot use, they take penalties. I think he did not have, he could not use swords, but he tried to anyway.
He had a narrow focus on clubs.
There we go. He was a monk. He was a monk and didn't realize it. Because that's actually the only class I could think of that can't use short swords. Because he wasn't. That's not a caster. Because he obviously wasn't a caster. In D&D, that's the only class I can think of that can't use short swords.
They do get weapons, but why when you have fists?
Granted, but like I said, I don't think he knows he's a monk. So, I mean, the episode, aside from a brief moment where it's like it turns into a day in life anime, in which we see how this guy lives his life. We see how Goblin Slayer lives a normal life at the farm with Cowgirl. We see that High Elf, Lizard Man, and Dwarf went on a quest to find out where Goblin Slayer lives, just so Lizard Man can buy more cheese from him. Lizard Man is behind Goblin Slayer. Lizard Man is quickly becoming my favorite character of this show because
he has a narrow-minded focus on cheese.
Whereas Goblin Slayer has the same narrow focus on goblins, Lizard Man has that laser focus for cheese. He loves cheese. It's a running joke with the show, and it continues with future episodes. I love it. Like in a future episode, it's not even part of the story, so I'll just say it now. They're just at a table eating, and he's just randomly, you hear him in the background, oh, jeez.
Yeah, so I didn't like episode 5.
I didn't. It was possibly the weakest episode of the series so far. Even scenes that were supposed to be interesting when they kick out that dude from the guild.
Oh, the halfling, or they call him something different in Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, yeah.
The halfling kid that stole all the money from his adventuring party.
Yeah.
And they had the priestess or whatever with the detect lie spell.
Yep.
It's like, yep, you're lying.
And Goblin Slayer. It's just like he takes everything super literally. The contract was to be an observer, so
he's like, I'm just here observing.
Yep. Like the guy pleads to Goblin Slayer. He's like, look, you're an adventurer. Come on, back me up here. I was hired as an observer. I give no comment nor advice because that's not part of observing.
Yeah, other than, halfling kid getting kicked out and kid going berserk with the club, we had Guild Girl crushing on Goblin Slayer.
Yep. And a 5 seconds at the end of setting up the next episode of, a really high-ranking person requests Goblin Slayer specifically for a quest. Okay. So
then we go into episode 6, where they meet Sword Maiden, the first gold-level adventurer.
Yeah.
That we've seen so far in the series.
Yes,
of course,
you're
they
right.
kind of set it up as in the beginning where they're telling the tale of the Sword Maiden.
Yes.
How she crushed the Demon Lord or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was way too happy and way too kind. Mm-hmm. This is not the Goblin Slayer world.
No. No.
And I kind of appreciate Goblin Slayer for, having a more realistic approach, even though Goblin Slayer is like the biggest bully in the world.
Yeah. So they go to, what was it, Watertown?
Yeah, Watertown.
To which, on the way there, the Priestess and High Elf set terms for this group. He's like, you're not allowed to use poison, fire,
and you cannot waterboard the goblins.
Waterboarding, yeah, that's right. It was like, we were both confused. We're like, when did he waterboard?
Yeah, so I get the feeling this was just some creative subtitling, translating. Because there's like no waterboarding.
No.
An ogre may have gotten cut in half by some pressurized water, but they're not showing flat out torture like in another show, but we're not even watching that one.
No. Which one?
JoJo.
Ah, okay. Oh, yeah, that. Yeah.
But there's no waterboarding whatsoever.
So they get there and, what was her name, Sword Maiden?
Yeah, Sword Maiden.
Sword Maiden tasks them with, hey, goblins have been killing people at night. Somehow, we don't know how they're getting in the city. We need you to find them and kill them. To which the meeting with Sword Maiden was great. Because every time she would say something, he would start asking like tactical questions. Which were, yes, not very tactful, because it obviously looked like it bothered Sword Maiden. Like, to tell the stories.
Goblin Slayer is coming up to this gold-ranked adventurer that saved the world.
Yes.
And he's telling her how things are. Like, what?
Priestess has to keep jumping in to quiet him down and then apologize to Sword Maiden. As if she's afraid Swordmane's gonna murder them or something.
Well, she's like the leader of her church or whatever. I think they worship the same god.
That is true. Yeah, she's the Archbishop of the Church of the Supreme God of Justice, or something to that effect. And so they go down to the sewers, to which didn't take long. It's like we're going to the sewers. Cut. They're battling goblins. In which Goblin Slayer went back to counting. It was like, yes. He's back to counting his corpses, which he's goblins. Making up numbers. He's just making up numbers. Because he was like, 1, 2, 7, 15, 25. It's like, whoa. You're skipping some numbers there, Bo.
So the way they introduce the goblins in this episode, like they show them coming up with the ship, and they're riding in the sewers, like riding fucking ships down in the sewers, and there's a wave that's cresting, and this heavy metal music is playing in the background, and this one goblin leader with an eye patch. Like,
pirate goblins. What? Pirate goblins, complete with like Doom 2016 metal music playing in the background. Some great fight scenes happen. These are really fun to watch.
These are some good fight scenes.
We really enjoy the fight scenes. I mean, and what makes them even more fun, and it's just something that's persistent in Goblin Slayer, is how Goblin Slayer, I've used this metaphor already, but I'm going to use it again, calls out a chess move. You know, he's just sort of like, this is how this is going down, this is why it works. And just does it.
Well, he did run into some pushback from his party members, because they're like, yeah, that's gonna cave in the whole place. And
oh, that's right. Yeah, he was willing to. Yeah,
we can't do that.
If we do that, it will harm the city. He's like, no, not up, down. If we do that, it'll block up the sewage. He's like, fuck.
You guys are ruining my goblin genocide here.
It was fun watching like Goblin Slayer and Lizardman jump on the boat from the bridge and just proceed to wreck shop. It's like Lizardman just using his big ass, like Goblin Slayer's like they're all wearing armor, so therefore if we knock them into the water, they'll sink and die. So Lizardman's like, you know, herd, and he uses his tail just to sweep them all off the fucking boat. It was badass.
Yeah, that's a awful way to go.
Yeah.
Or by dragon.
Right, because in the middle of this fight, what did she call it? Swamp dragon? Sewer
it's like
dragon?
a fucking giant alligator or something. They're like, that's a dragon.
Giant albino alligator, and it then proceeds to chase them through the sewer.
It's a swamp dragon, is what they said.
Yes, but it's even that they're running from it, and then High Elf is all like, "I hear more goblin boats. They're ahead of us. What do we do?" And Goblin Slayer's like,
"I got this.
Got it. You have Priestess. You have one more miracle left, right? Yeah." Jump cut. And it shows the goblins sailing towards a bright light, and they're like, yeah.
Heavy metal.
The heavy metal music is playing, and then alligator jaws.
Yeah, so Goblin Slayer is very inventive in the methods of cruelty that he comes up to with in killing goblins.
He had Priestess use her final miracle of light to cast light on the tip of the tail of the fucking alligator.
And it worked out brilliantly.
Because he's all like, goblins have learned that adventurers and civilians use light when they're in dark places, so they're automatically drawn to it because they think that it's future victims. Which was a good call. Because they
somebody was a victim here.
Yes.
It was the goblin's hint.
Yeah. So Goblin Slayer, he deduces, because these goblins are really smarter than your average goblin. They're using tools. They know how to run boats. He's like, these goblins are
a mastermind here.
Yep, someone's manufacturing this goblin breeding here. So, cut to the our final episode of this week. They proceed to go back down into this into the sewers.
They skipped the part where they took a bath.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Priestess wants to take a bath.
Priestess has to take a bath. And nobody else in this party takes baths because... No.
They all have excuses for it, too.
Yeah. God, these guys must smell awful.
So,
other than the priestess who goes and takes a bath with the sword maiden.
And the way Sword Maidens talk to her, it really, and the thing after, Goblin Slayer saying that their numbers are being manufactured, makes me think Sword Maiden's a bad guy.
I don't think so.
Out of the way she talked to Priestess, it was kind of ominous. Like, this sounds like this sounds like the kind of way a bad guy talks to to the weakest link of a group. So they go back down into the sewers with a canary this time because, again, Goblin Slayer is metagaming. He knows that goblins are going to use gas this time, and let me know they used gas this time. Motherfucker's metagaming.
Be metagaming because
yes, we'll get there. We'll get there. So they go to a chamber, which turned out to be a trap.
Cue more Admiral Akbar.
Yep. And the goblins, again, these smarter than average goblins, proceed to gas the chamber that they lock them into. Which, of course, Goblin Slayer is prepared because apparently he already knew this was going to happen. He had charcoal, he had rags to put over their faces, everything to create impromptu gas masks, and concrete to patch up all the holes that they're putting the gas through. Someone read the script. He read the script.
He got a hold of the Dungeon Master's notes.
Yeah.
And read them, and now he's cheating.
He was fucking... But he got his comeuppance. He got his comeuppance. Because the goblins then proceed, okay, we can't go gas them. We'll go kill them. They bust the door down, and they have a goblin... Champion.
They have a goblin champion who's bigger and larger than any goblin we've seen before.
Yeah. And one-shots fucking Goblin Slayer.
Well, they were having a good go, killing those little midget goblins that pose no threat whatsoever.
Nope.
But he does get hit by this giant club that's bigger than him, and then you commented...
Oh, that's right, he's been coughing up blood really fucking bad. And I made the joke, because they showed like a sign, like dice.
Yeah, the dice.
And it's like, he rolled a natural 1 on his death saving throw.
To which Goblin Slayer replies to Featherhoof here, bullshit.
The party is dying.
Yeah,
everyone
so
is getting their asses kicked.
Wrecked right now.
High Elf is having her clothes ripped off. The only one who's actually not doing bad is Dwarf, strangely enough.
Well, he's got an axe.
Lizard Man is being overwhelmed. All his skeleton minions get destroyed. Dwarf is fending off as best he can. High Elf is getting prepared for rapage. And Priestess gets grabbed by the Goblin Champion and nommed.
Yeah, he bites right into her shoulder.
Yeah. And Goblin Slayer... If this was a D&D game, the Dungeon Master went, and your character Goblin Slayer dies, and the player went, fuck that.
He's like, no, I'm going to tell you what actually happened.
Because he gets up, and with 1 HP apparently, proceeds to wreck shop somehow.
Yeah, he's killing these little goblins with his shield, because he doesn't have a weapon left.
Yeah, he kills this one with a shield. The shield falls off his arm, and then proceeds by using the hair of a dead body as a garrote wire. He strangles the champion to near death, rips his eye out, uses that to get a natural 20 on his intimidation roll.
Yeah, he's telling these goblins, yeah, who wants to die next?
And then, how did they defeat the champion? The champion does die.
He probably just died from shock. He's
I
what?
can't remember. How did they eventually... What was the final blow of the champion? I can't remember.
I don't know. I think he might have scurried away.
No, he died.
Because they saw their champion, like...
Yeah, the goblin scurried
really
away.
Fucked up.
The goblin scurried away, but the goblin champion is still there, sitting there going, my eye, blah. He had... I can't remember.
Well, they had to have killed him, or he had to have fled, because that final shot of the episode, they just lingered there for like 3 minutes playing this music. So,
after they defeat the Goblin Champion, I'm pretty sure they defeated the Goblin Champion. Like I said, I have 3 weeks worth of anime
Emanase.
Yeah, Emanase crammed in my head, so I don't remember every detail. My apologies. They go over. Lizard Man heals Priestess. Dwarf helps out a High Elf, and to carry Goblin Slayer over to Priestess to make sure she's okay. And then he collapses next to her, just like coughs up the last of HP of his blood. And then we got 3 minutes
of a bird's eye view.
3 minutes of the... I'm not kidding! The shot lingers on a super close-up of the bird's eye. And you see the reflection of the group in the bird's eye as it blinks every once in a while. Of them standing around, like kneeling around Goblin Slayer's corpse. Because, you know, we're only halfway through, and obviously Goblin Slayer's dead.
Goblin Slayer's dead. Mm-hmm. Show's over. Yep. 7 episodes in. Season's done.
Yep. It was good run. Good run. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So, after we actually were like, okay, how much longer do we have of this? We actually pulled up the timer. There was like 3 minutes left. We're like, oh my god. Okay, maybe they'll switch to something. No, it was almost 3 minutes of just bird eye. It was like... And if anyone's ever seen the Nostalgia Critic review Star Trek The Motion Picture, where he's just screaming the word cut because he wants them to cut to something, that's how it felt. I'm just sitting there going, cut! Do something! It was driving me up the wall. So, that's how it ends. It eventually slowly fades to black and into credits.
Yeah, unfortunately for such a badass episode,
it had a terrible ending.
It's on a low point.
Yeah.
It's like, what was the director even thinking here?
I honestly believe they wrote out the episode, they storyboarded it, and they thought, okay, we have exactly enough to fill 22 minutes. And then they drew it all out and they turned it into animation and they went, fuck, we only have 19 minutes of animation. What do we do? Just turn that bird's eye into a GIF and linger on that for the last 3 minutes. Because that's what they did.
Yeah. Very unfortunate there.
Yes. So, 3 episodes, 1 of them disappointment, 2 of them fantastic.
Yeah, Goblin Slayer. 1 episode not Goblin Slayer.
Yes.
2 episodes Goblin Slayer.
I am really enjoying this show. I have so much fun with this show. This show is it's not just a badass action film. It is also a fantastic comedy. When
yes, they do.
Goblin Slayer opens his mouth, it is fucking hilarious.
This is the thing that I've been saying about this fall season of 2018, is that there's just a massive amount of trolling. Like, I start watching these anime shows, and then, like, partway through, it'll be, like, some super serious shit, and then all of a sudden, it's like, what the fuck is going on?
So, final thoughts on Goblin Slayer this week, these 3 weeks.
I'd give it a 5 out of 7.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of episode 5 being kind of...
Not as good as 6 and 7?
Yeah, that... I wasn't interested in little kid and little girl's story.
Yeah. It was not interesting.
Like, I think when we get by the end of the season, you know, episode 12, we're like, why is this episode even here?
Yeah. It felt like
filler.
It felt like the worst kind of filler. Where it's like, hey, we're not even going to focus on the group because we don't want to create any discrepancies between the manga and anime, so we're going to do something completely unrelated. So, I don't know. It just wasn't good. If you could skip episode 5, skip it. But 6 and 7, woo! Good. God. I mean, I do love how the character of Goblin Slayer is evolving. Like, the character himself, he is softening up to people, he's learning how to deal with people and work in groups, and actually, he desires to be in groups. Before he was completely content with being solo, he seems to actually desire to be with people.
Now, if he actually ends up doing a solo mission, would he go back to his old ways of just crazy flooding caverns and stuff?
Probably. I did love, one of my favorite lines was in episode 6, High Elf tells him, he's like, look, we'll go on this adventure with you, but you're coming on an adventure with us. That doesn't have to do with goblins. And no complaint. Like before, if it was like anything else, it was like, he always went, goblins? And it was like, no, goblins, like, not interested.
Yeah, I get the feeling that they're probably going to end up going and killing the Demon Lord because goblins. But I don't think that we're going to get that in this show unless we get a second season.
Probably,
or third,
yeah.
or whatever.
So that was Goblin Slayer. Fantastic show. Continues to be fantastic, even if it had a speed bump. So with that, we're going to go ahead and move right on to our next entry.
And coming in in our fourth slot this week is Iraduku.
Yes.
And I find this show incredibly hard to watch just because of all these incredibly detailed background pictures.
That is the only thing that makes it hard to watch, because I find this show incredibly charming, personally. But there is just those unsettling times where it's just sort of like, you know, you're watching it, it's typical animation, you know, those typical level of animation, nothing fantastic, nothing bad. But then suddenly out of nowhere, we get these still shots of beautifully detailed faucets, or cobblestone paths, or bridges, or cityscapes. It's like, you guys are blowing your budget on these single frames that you're just hanging on.
You know, I think this show would take the award for best backgrounds of any show this year.
Absolutely.
I would find it hard to argue against it, but I'm sure some more popular show like Sword Art Online is gonna take it just for sake of being popular.
Whatever. Ugh. Anyway, and I'm not saying that just to be contrarian. I honestly am not. I don't care for it. Anyway, so I had a problem with episode 5 this week.
Do tell.
We went through this series so far. Hitomi, I hate magic. Why do you hate magic? I hate magic. Okay, whatever. Hopefully we'll get that in the future. Episode 5. I like a boy. I love magic now. I will use magic to help boy I like. It's like...
Yes, our budding romance.
Yes. It's so... Yeah, I mean, I get the whole, you know, you'll do... what people won't do for love and everything. But it's just like, that was her character. Her character was... I hate magic. That was her character. And it was a defining thing about her that I was hoping to figure out. But it just is like, it's like, whoop, let me just take my character and, whoo, I like magic now. Because it makes boy happy.
You know what? I think we see a continuing trend this week of not liking episode 5.
Yeah, if we had done episode 5, there would have been a lot of negativity.
Oh boy. If we did that week, wow.
Yeah, thank you, Extra Life, for saving us from that week. I mean, other than that, I enjoyed the episode. So, what is his name? Aoi. I keep forgetting.
Aoi.
Aoi's having problems drawing.
It'll be okay, man.
Aoi's having problems drawing. He has artist block. So...
Is that an actual thing?
Yeah, it's like writer's block, but artist block. You know. He can't draw. He can't get inspiration, and every time he tries to draw, he hates it, and he erases it. So, Hitomi, she then asks, what's her name, grandmother's name again?
Kohaku.
She asks Kohaku, teach me how to make sand. The star sand, right?
If that's what you want to call it.
Isn't that what's called? Star sand?
Yeah.
Okay. Much to the dismay of Kohaku's mother,
yeah,
they use all the high quality.
Use the high quality, and
stuff.
she was like, "You got to use the low quality trash for practice."
Because poor Hitomi burns up nearly all of it.
Yeah, I wonder how her business is gonna do now.
Yeah. So what did she make? She made a star saying that when he used it at home, it created a star field, like a one of those like a planetarium star field.
Oh, okay.
That has a fish, the gold fish that she keeps seeing everywhere.
I don't understand the symbolism of fish.
I don't get it either, but I was noticing. I just now noticed when we watched the most recent episode. I was like, "Oh, that fish is everywhere in the opening intro."
Unless it's supposed to be like a fish out of water or something.
I don't know.
It's like, what?
But every time it shows up, it usually precedes Hitomi seeing colors. So, I mean, episode 5 was kind of... It set up a couple of things. It set up, what's her name, Asagi?
I don't know their names.
The chick who loves the bunnies. I think her name's like...
Maybe that's her name, because Glasses Girl is Kurumi, and she's only
then
there to be hated.
Then there's Sho, who's the president, and Shisuga, who is the young boy.
Sure.
Alright, so... I think her name was Asagi. She's in love with Sho, but she gets a bad reading from Kohaku. Like, she read her horoscope or whatever. Or,
These horoscopes, man.
yeah. It's like, you will have a troubled love life. And she's like, crap. And takes it too literally. And she gets all upset with Sho a couple of times. And it just wasn't a very good episode. Again, and mostly because it just takes Hitomi's character and just chucks it out the window for, I like boys, so therefore I like magic now. Skipping over to episode 6, though.
I have no objections.
This is the one where they go and get dressed up, isn't it? Or am I skipping ahead to 7?
I feel like they were the same episode, almost. Except episode 7's where
episode 6 the one where they go and they get all dressed up in, what was it, like bodices and old fancy...
It's like stuff from the 1800s.
Like, yeah. Like, fancy dress, like, Western European dress. And, they do pictures with that. It's kind of cute. But what's the meat and potatoes of the episode is Hitomi, her undefined magical powers, her innate magical powers, she's using them on herself without even realizing she's using them on herself to sort of pry too deeply into Aoi's art and his personal life and his problems, because she finds himself wandering through his art. Like, she's in his art literally.
Oh yeah, this episode was the really trippy one, wasn't it?
Yeah, with Slender Man.
Yeah, where...
Not literally, but I called him that.
She had to have taken some hardcore drugs here.
Yes. She's in his art, and she keeps following the fish. She sees the fish everywhere, but the fish keeps dying. Like, you always see, like, she'll find the fish, and it'll be, like, floating on the surface of some, drawn water, colorless and dead. Or dying. And there's, like, this black figure constantly trying to go towards it, trying to catch it. But, it can never catch it, and it's, like, going too deep in the water, and she keeps saying, "You can't go any further," and trying to stop him.
Swirling into a whirlpool or a black hole of something.
Yeah.
And I guess he'd die if he...
I don't know, but
I don't know what would happen.
But she comes out of it because Aoi wakes her up. And apparently, she passed out. And
it's all in her head.
And she explains this to him, and he gets mad at her.
He gets super triggered over it.
He does. He's like, and he says this line, and it's like, okay, we're back to the Hitomi we know. Because he says this line, he's like, mages, what right do you have to pry into my, into my business and tell me what to do, or this, that, and the other? And she gets, this is like, someone shoved a dagger in her heart, she got really upset by it.
How could you, Aoi?
And he, like, storms off. And it's just sort of like, she goes back to, I hate magic.
I don't understand this drama, because by the end of the episode, it was like a non-issue at all.
But the episode, she talks to Kohaku, she talks about how it's like, she's troubled with magic, It's, and, Kohaku tries to talk to her about it. It's, and it cheers her up a bit.
She gives her another horoscope.
She gives her a bullshit horoscope. She gives her a bullshit horoscope.
Yes, she does.
It's a fake horoscope of. I mean, there's some great lines in there, about how, when you have the strongest relationships, what was the fucking line that Kurumi said?
I don't know because I hate Kurumi.
I know you do, but she was like, even the best relationships need good clobbering from time to time, or something like that.
If you say so.
It was something to that effect. I really liked the line, but I'd have to go back and watch the episode again. I really liked it. But she's unsure about magic. She's unsure about what she was right or wrong, and they tried to go to the art installation. Remember when Aoi bought the gift, the green
so
for the art establishment?
This is where it gets really hazy and everything.
Yeah. Kohaku talks to Tomi into,
excuse me,
like we're gonna talk this out. She gets cold feet when they get there. She doesn't want to, because she sees Aoi talking to the other girl that he bought the Star Sand for. I think she either gets jealous or upset, so she tries to run away. And Kohaku cheats, fucking cheater. She uses magic.
I was like, this is a real dick move, because she used the wind to blow her umbrella away.
Yeah, to try to get her to stop or to come back.
And Aoi's like, no, you can't leave, and he runs and grabs her umbrella and chases after her through the rain. And
yep.
I kind of thought he was like gonna miss her at this point.
Even though he was looking right at her.
Looking right at her, and he's gonna just run right by her, and that was gonna be that. But no, he finds her, and they make up and everything. And
yeah, he's like, I'm gonna draw, and and I will show it to you. And she's like, she feels a little better by it. And as she's on the train home, suddenly,
of the train, we thought that was gonna hit them.
Yes, the way the perspective was shifted is he was like, Hitomi, I'm gonna, and then the train was like coming up. I was like, is he about to be splattered by a train before he can like profess his love or some shit? But then like the perspective shifts, and then he's like, I'm gonna keep drawing, and I will show you my art. And the train stops at the station. It was like, oh, okay. So she's on the train, and suddenly she apparently starts to trip balls again, because the fucking fish shows up, bigger than ever, just next to the fucking train, and she looks at it, and suddenly she sees colors. Like the world comes into color for her. Like before, whenever she sees color, it's because she's looking at the art, or she's in the art world.
I'm kind of getting the feeling that whenever emotions stir within her or something, that
you think because she's always
she starts to see color.
You think because she's always a fucking Debbie Downer that's why she's always in.
Since she's super depressed and everything all the time, that's why she sees gray.
It could be that, but what bugs me more than anything is she comes home soaking wet, because even though she has an umbrella in hand, apparently she didn't want to use it. And she, Kohaku, she just talks to her, like, the colors are back. Episode ends. 7 begins.
The colors are gone.
Literally, before the credits start, she comes up to looking around. It shows her perspective again. It's all black and white, and she's like, as quickly as the colors came, they went away again. Credits start. It's like, what? What?
Yeah, so now it's summertime, and we thought we were going to get a beach episode.
But instead we got a camping episode.
We got a camping episode, which...
I didn't know that was
really
a thing.
Camp or whatever. They erected a tent, and then...
Yeah, they erected a single tent for the... 6? No.
I think there's like 8 of them.
Sho, Asagi, Kurumi, Chisuga, Kohaku...
Maybe there's 3 girls and...
6, yeah, there's 6.
Yeah.
So 1 tent for the 6 of them. 1 tent and a tarp on sticks. But so they're out at this campsite. Sho, because he's a senior, but what we would call a senior, and because he's going to be graduating, he basically assigns the new roles for the club. And Asagi, the girl that she is in love with him, he's like, you're president. And Hitomi gets nominated vice president. The two most indecisive, weakest individuals in the history of the show, they're put in charge. Brilliant.
Let's never accuse this guy of having a brain.
We shall not.
Or Kurumi.
Well, I mean, show obviously doesn't have common sense or, simple deductive reasoning, because he can't obviously notice that Asagi has a thing for him. So, she's blatantly putting it out there, but he's just like, nope, don't see it.
So this episode has to do with Hitomi's colorblindness, and then Kurumi's whatever.
Yeah, Kurumi. It's a lot to do with. It's a very Kurumi-heavy episode about her home life. Introduces her sister. It's a great dive into her as a character, her home life. A little bit about her parents and how their disapproval of their children's individual future choices.
Well, if I had a daughter like Kurumi, I would disapprove of her choices too.
Her sister, the pastry chef, and her parents didn't like that apparently, and
so the whole my problem with this episode, I didn't like it, is because of Kurumi and her issues, which weren't really issues and didn't really amount to anything.
But here's the thing, though.
There's nothing solved by the end of the episode.
Yes, nothing
on her end, at least.
Granted. But here's the thing. I don't think it was trying to set up anything to be solved. It was just trying to set up... Because they have not really set up Kurumi as a character. So far, she's just sort of been this bitchy chick who's just sort of been around with the rest of the group. This actually sort of set her up as a character, gave us more of her background, and I think it actually developed her a little bit.
Yes, it developed her, and they confirmed that she is the dumb member of the squad, if you will, because...
Yes, but she's not detestable like you seem to feel that she is.
She has done a lot of wrong for that Wile E. Coyote thing that she did back in episode 3 or 4 of dunking Hitomi in the water.
Well, I thought it was a charming episode. I liked seeing more of Kurumi. And
the only thing it really sets up with her is that the other boy,
Chisuga.
Yeah, Chisuga is definitely crushing on her.
Yes. And you can kind of tell, even though she's always mean to him and stuff like that, she kind of would like to reciprocate.
Well, why doesn't she then?
Because she's got that, act she needs to keep up for whatever reason. So, the biggest thing, though, the episode, besides Kurumi's story, the Kurumi Chisuga story is, Hitomi is basically... she is advised by Kohaku to just tell him. Just tell him you can't see colors. Just tell him. Because she was so obsessed with colors, she wanted Kohaku to describe colors and things to her. Because she's like looking at pictures and she's like, oh, this is the sunset in this picture is a beautiful rose colored. She's like, oh, I never really realized what I was missing until I had it, and now I want to know everything. And she's like, well, why don't you ask the rest of them? She's like, oh, I don't want them to know. I was like, you really should. So in the end, the episode ends, and she basically, it doesn't show her saying it, but she says, I have something I need to tell you.
She's gonna tell them. She's gonna come clean.
Yeah.
No, I can't see colors.
It's kind of silly. The one thing that's kind of silly about this show, it's like
that Hitomi tells
all her secrets.
Kurumi the same
that too.
that Kohaku gave to her.
Yes. Little white lies in an attempt to cheer people up. But what I find silly about the show actually is the show starts with, I can't tell anyone I'm from the future. I don't want anyone to know I'm colorblind. We're halfway through. Everyone knows she's from the future, and now they know she's colorblind. It isn't like they figured it out. Well, actually, Aoi figured it out. But it's just, she's like, by the way. It's like, okay. All right. then, I mean, if they didn't give a shit about her being from 60 years in the future, I don't think they're really going to give a shit about her being colorblind either.
Nobody's going to care that she's colorblind.
So...
They're like, yeah, we still accept you as our friend, and everything's cool.
But that is something, and that's why I don't really complain about the show. I really still enjoy watching the show, is that it is charming to the nth degree. And the characters are... I know you hate Kurumi. I like the dynamic of the characters together as a group. They are a fun group to follow. It's charming to the nth degree. And then, you know, every 30th frame, we get that one frame of beautiful fucking art.
Yes,
that they just hang on.
I can't look away.
Says the man who just rolled his eyes and looked away, but you know.
I can't look away from the art. I don't see the art right now.
I see.
I can't see the art. Like, Hitomi can't see the colors.
Yeah. So that's how we felt about, at least that's how I felt about the 3 episodes this week. Do you have any final thoughts?
Nope.
Nope? Just concur?
I concur.
With all of your Kurumi hate?
I both concur and object.
Yeah, I mean, please, you know, for the audience, explain, because I myself want a better picture of this. Why do you hate Kurumi so goddamn much?
So... This is kind of a tough call for me because I actually like girls that wear glasses. I think it's like the hottest thing ever. But
that's why you suffered through Xenosaga episode 2 because Shion had glasses.
Did she?
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
she didn't lose them until 3.
Anyway, where was I going? Oh yeah,
girls with glasses.
She's kind of bitchy.
She's not bitchy, she's just a little bossy. She isn't really bitchy. She's just... When you say bitchy, that entails that she complains a lot or something like that.
She dunked her friend in a pool because she had to tell her the truth or whatever. And then... What's this other mess that's going on where she doesn't want to, like, admit her feelings to this boy that likes her?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, she's got a lot on her plate right now. It sounds like she's got an issue with her parents wanting, you know, she's worried because her parents didn't approve of her daughter, of her sister.
Of her daughter?
Of her sister,
Where is this going?
Her parents didn't approve of her sister becoming a pastry chef. She had to do it behind her parents' back. She's afraid that if she's not smart enough to get into the college that they want her to go to, she won't be able to pursue her dreams, and in her dreams her parents aren't going to be accepting of. Stuff that is relatable. I find Kurumi a very relatable character. She compensates for a lot of her inadequacies with being bossy and outspoken. I think she is a well-written character.
Okay, you can have your opinion on her, but...
And I do.
Unless I see some things in future episodes that makes her a little more likable, I'm not going to like her.
Well, she doesn't have to be likable.
She doesn't have to be likable, but I don't like her.
Yeah, but I mean, it seems like yours is like you I have
the hatred of 1,000 burning suns.
You have the hatred of 1,000 burning angels of death for Kurumi, and it eludes me.
I don't know if I would go that far. Wow, that's some extreme hatred there. Wow, maybe you've convinced me that Kurumi is not that bad.
So that was Iraduku these past 3 weeks. It continues to charm. Again, episode 5 was just sort of... What was with episodes 5 this week? But other than that, it got back on track. Past 2 episodes were really nice, and well worth your time if you haven't watched them yet. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to our final entry this week. And our final entry this week, Zombie Land Saga.
Ohio gozaimasu!
Ohio gozaimasu! You gotta say it right. You gotta stretch that out. Ohio gozaimasu!
Breaking that streak of episode 5s that we didn't like. Okay, so I really like this episode. Next episode.
You can actually tell he likes this episode. I wish I could show it to you, because usually I have to yell at him to bring your volume up. I don't have to. I'm looking at the sound waves right now. You are right where you need to be, Bo. Finally.
Okay, so episode 5 of Zombieland Saga continues the tradition of being one of the most surprising great shows ever.
And one of the most random. Because this episode actually splits itself into two.
There's two parts to it.
Yes. First is they are hired to be an idol group / advertising / chickens for a drive-through chicken place.
Nice bird.
Nice bird! Or, as he says at the end of the episode, nice bird.
Yes. So they go to this chicken drive-in place
Saki is really
is in love with, and she's just flabbergasted and just like, wow, we're really gonna go there.
Saki and Tatsumi are on the same page. They are both equally excited for this gig. Because it's like, when everyone else is like, what is Tahori Kitchen or whatever, chicken or whatever it was called, then Saki turns around and he's like, you fail!
Yeah.
Saga fail!
Actual words. You fail at Saga.
Like she actually steps into the shoes of Tatsumi and begins to berate the other idols for not knowing what this thing is.
But this was not before Saki laid Tatsumi out for being annoying.
Which one? This wasn't the leg, was it?
Yeah, this was the leg where...
No, the second one was the leg. This one was...
No, this one was the leg, because the second one is the one with Ai or Junko. This one is where Saki...
Oh, that's right, yeah, he comes... He's like, that's right, he comes out in the baseball uniform. Yeah. And he's doing all these baseball metaphors to which none of the girls understand.
Or cared.
And Saki makes a joke, about how stupid he's being. So he flips the ball up, bats it into her fucking face. Till she gets up and chucks it so hard that it Charlie horses him.
Yeah, he kind of gets wrecked from here, and he's down on the ground, like, gathering dirt. He's being completely lame. He's like, yeah, the dirt, man. The dirt.
The dirt.
But they go out to film this commercial for drive-in Tories, and... oh, God.
Yamata Tai has the best scene ever. Because they're going to be idols dancing behind and singing behind a dude. I swear to God, this was an actual anthropomorphic chicken. This was not a suit. He says this is
supposed to be. Well, because later she grabs onto his back and pulls down the leggings or whatever.
No, she didn't. Suits. She pulled mouthfuls of feathers off its butt.
Well,
she didn't
you can see boxer
off.
Shorts or whatever under it. So it has to be but it does look like an anthropomorphic chicken.
Because its face is expressive, its blinks,
there's no way that a guy fit in this chicken suit.
Because the neck is this big around. Like, literally. It's like swan neck thick. But it's still moving around and articulating and everything. Unless it was like crazy, like above Jim Henson level puppetry. So, it's... I love it because, like, they do the commercial, but Yamata Tai is back there singing, like,
Tai is doing Tai things,
and like, okay, that was good, but can we get a second take without the
Yeah, what was all that stuff?
So they get her to, it's like, okay, on our mark, we're gonna sing it this, that, and the other, and you just do the chicken noises. To which they start singing. It's like right at the beginning.
So your theory is that Tai has been awake the whole time, but she's trolling.
I honestly believe that. I honestly believe Tai woke up with the rest of them, heard the explanation, and just went, I want no part of this. So she is literally pretending. Because she continues to make this a success by accident. She continues to make every single thing they do a success by accident. So she, after the thing is over, she keeps wanting to eat the chicken dude. So she begins to chase him around the set, and they're like, "Someone stop her! Everyone get off! Stop what you're doing and stop her!" To which Tatsumi's like, "No, start those cameras.
This is perfect.
Film it." Oh wait, no. oh my god, after the second attempt, and they're like, oh, that was a perfect shot. And Tatsumi's like, yes, it was perfect. It was perfect, yes. For amateurs! You are not birds! You are not my good birds! You are not in the mindset of chickens!
This guy is like having way too much fun doing this character.
If I was ever a voice actor, I would want to do the English dub for Tatsumi, because it sounds like so much goddamn fun.
I think that Funimation is doing a dub for this show.
Oh god.
And
It will hinge on who they get to do Tatsumi. Whether it's a success or not. So, this turns out to be a success. They actually successfully do a chicken commercial to which Yamata Tai becomes the unexpected, breakout star.
She does, but they don't actually cover that until
the next episode.
Future episodes. And then
they go to
then we have
Olympics
the God Olympics, which Saki knows about because she's all about Saga.
Yeah, all of a sudden she's again standing up in front with Tatsumi, trying to get everyone riled up about this. And then they actually do such a repeat of Saki getting mad at the other idol girls that they just go, they actually cut to black before she even finishes saying fail. And they just go, it's just on the screen goes, yada yada, same as before. Or something to that effect.
And Tatsumi gets wrecked again.
How did he get wrecked? I can't remember how he gets wrecked.
He gets wrecked by Baguette.
That's right, he gets in Ai's face. And
they're like, what the she's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Because he's wearing a French beret, he's doing a French... I've never heard Japanese with a French accent before. That was really weird.
He's doing his whole mocking routine right in her face.
She's
like, yeah, I guess so. She's like so non-committal about it. Like, yeah, okay. And then he pisses her off, and he has a baguette with him, and she just grabs it and smacks him, and he gets completely wrecked.
He gets flung across the room by an impact from a baguette. I don't know how that works.
And he's back to the dirt, man.
So now they're at this God Olympics. They actually get official T-shirts and logos, which they all hate.
Well, they're supposed to show them off, but
right.
This does not go according to plan.
No, because the first event is which I've ridden a bike before. I don't understand how none of them can do this. To ride on a rail that's about you take the length of a bicycle tire, and it's 3 times the width of a bicycle tire, and just ride a bike straight line. All of them fail, fall in the mud, covers up all their T-shirts. They can't promote their band.
Not only do they fall in the mud, they fail at this just right out the gate.
Yep. Actually, my favorite one was Sakura. Sakura was the final one. And she's gonna make it. It's even playing the music, she's gonna make it. And then suddenly, she's it's just she's on the track, and then jump cut, she's in the mud. It's she got flung one way, the bike went the other way, and she's in the mud. It's what? And then, I love it, because Tatsumi then goes to do it. And they're okay, Tatsumi then can promote the band. And he's he can say something. He's so your name, this is your Tatsumi blah blah blah, and he's oh, okay, hi.
Yeah.
he's okay, he's going to promote the idol group. Okay, he's so you're doing this for this, that, or the other. I can't remember what she asked him.
He's yeah, I'm just here to do my best.
Yeah. Okay. They're okay, you know what? We actually get to see him fail. Yes, we get our revenge to watch him fail. And he just calmly just rides the bike across.
All the way across.
Perfectly.
But we did miss the police officer who was demoing it for everybody.
Yes.
And they're this police officer guy is going to show you how it's done. And he's he gets a little ways out there, then bloop.
Instant.
They're
Instant.
They're yeah, that's about right.
Yep. So then they have this other event where it's
the rope swinging one.
I think all of them fail. Every last one of them fails. My favorite one has to be the geisha.
Well, yeah, Yugiri goes out there and she's doing all these pole dancing moves on it, and
the judge
doesn't actually get any distance on it because she comes back to the
But what I love it
starting point.
because the announcer goes high scores from the judges, but no actual points for distance.
Well, they gave her all 5s, and then they had like the little girl Lily. She gets on there,
Oh,
she
God.
wraps up in the rope and just gets flung, like super hyper about it.
Yep.
She went in there with maximum energy.
She drank her Brondo. But
the thirst quencher.
so they all lose. They all suck. They didn't get any distances, and they're like, "Oh damn, we fucked up." And then Ty just suddenly shows up at the rope. Mm-hmm. Just shows up at the rope, grabs it, swings out there, and just flings herself out there like she's gonna swan. She swan dives out into the open air, and proceeds to fall apart.
Yeah.
For no
her
reason.
Legs, her legs, her arms, and her head all disconnect, and they're like, "What's going on out there?" Well, the sun's in the way, so we can't really tell.
It's like, oh, look at her teammates. Her teammates are all running out there to support her. They're all running out there trying to put her back together quickly. And it's funny because, yeah, Ty's the only one of them that made a podium finish. And they're like, the only one of us who made it to the podium is Ty, and she can't promote us. It's like, yeah, miss, you have anything to say? It's like, and they're like, oh wait, we put it because Ty ripped her first shirt. They put another shirt over top of her. Like, Ty, rip off your shirt because it's covered in mud and shit, right? So she rips it off, and underneath is a shirt for the chicken place.
Nice bird.
Yes, which it just pans to a close up of Tatsumi, who just goes, "Nice bird," and it just cuts right there. So if we had done week 5 when we were supposed to, that would have been our number 1, just
been at
hands
the top,
down.
hands down, because of all those other weak episodes.
Yeah, that was. So it's episode 6. We have. Well, everything's been
had a 2-parter here because
everything's been going so well for the group. They've been succeeding for the most part.
They have fans now.
They have fans, and we have the meet and greet. To which, what's her face?
Junko does not like this at all.
No, she is not a fan.
Yeah, this episode was a lot of angsting from Junko because they're supposed to.
Both episodes 6 and 7 are a shit ton of angsting from Junko.
They're pretty much the same episode because 7 is a continuation from 6.
Instant, like it's almost as if no time passes.
What's supposed to be going on here is that Franchosho is going to have a show at the Saga Rock.
Well, we're not even there yet. The girls actually break into. I thought they actually break into his office to use the internet.
Yeah, they
and they learn about things like the Saga Rock concert and everything like that. And I is really upset because she's keeps finding all these articles. Apparently she's been breaking into his office multiple times.
Yeah, she's been at this a lot.
And she finds out about how she was perceived after her death, and she's upset by her legacy. She doesn't like the legacy she left behind, and how she was remembered after death. And she's a little angsty about that. She's not too happy about that. That's why she's working so hard with Franchosho.
Yeah. You do get 2 important things here is how Junko died and how I died in this episode.
Yes. One was sad and tragic. One was fucking hilarious.
One was fucking awesome.
I mean, you can't go out any other way.
Yeah, the way she went out, they had their number 1 hit.
Yeah. Junko went out like fucking
Richie Valens.
Yeah, Richie Valens and Big Bopper and all them.
It was the day that music died.
Yeah. Like literally. Airplane went down, the storm, dead. I, on the other hand, she's with a group called, was it Iron Frill?
Yeah, Iron Frill.
She's the lead idol in Iron Frill.
And they...
With actually 3 important things, because it started, Sakura's getting her memories back bit by bit, and she's finding out that the group that she was we find out the group she was going to audition for was Iron Frill, and this is the group that she fangirled over. Mm-hmm. And I is the idols that she fangirled over to want to be an idol. She's slowly piecing that together. So, go on. You were saying they were at the outdoor concert.
Yeah, so they revealed that Ai's group, Iron Frill, had climbed up to the #1 charts, and the #1 of the Japanese charts, whatever those are called.
Their CD just released, was a top seller.
Their CD. Oh my god.
See how quaint CDs.
Oh man, this is such a blast from the past here. But yeah, they're #1 in the charts with their CD. They're mega hits, and she's out there giving her all on the best performance ever.
Like the performance of her life.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, and she goes out to the center stage, and it's like the end of this song or whatever.
And God was watching, and she must have done. I think she missed a note because God got pissed.
And she gets struck by lightning, and like
she Wile E. Coyotes her own death because she's still standing there in position.
Yeah, she's like, "Yeah, I had this,"
and like, like crispy black.
Everybody's like in the audience, just like. What just happened?
Everyone's like, there's like this. It's like that. I can't replicate the look. It's the look of both shock, disbelief, and terror. It's just like
this was just a flashback of what she was telling to Saki, and Saki was like, "Holy shit, that actually was legendary."
But of course, Ai's like, "Not to me. That's not the legend I wanted to leave behind." And she's upset by it. So. Junko reveals her secrets to Sakura about how that's not how idols were in my time, which I think she was like an 80s
idol. Yeah, she
idol.
was in the 80s, and I guess in that time period they didn't really go out and meet and greet.
Yeah. Well, no, they did.
I don't really know.
They did meet and greets, but they didn't. They weren't touchy-feely with the fans. You know, it's like there was always a wall. Here's the entertainers, here's the spectators and the fans. But there's always a wall between us, an understood wall. You know, we're on separate sides of that wall. You know, there's privacy, there's safety. It was before the days of the internet. That was such a weird scene in episode 7. But we'll get there. But it's, you know, and she does not like this. She does not like this meet and greet. She can't do it. In fact, she screams.
She wants to actually leave the group.
Yes, because she can't.
Because of this.
Yeah. So. Sakura knows Junko's secret, Saki knows Ai's secret. Because she's terrified of lightning now. Which you would be, you know? I mean,
I don't think anybody wants to be struck by lightning.
Yeah, but I mean, someone who actually was. I mean, you would have a little lightning PTSD.
Well, I guess we'll get to that.
Yeah, we will. So it looks like, is friend Shushu gonna fall apart? Is this the end for our zombies? You know, join us next time on Zombieland Z.
Saga Z.
To which it just picks right back up. Apparently days have gone by. Tatsumi has booked them for Saga Rock or Rock Saga, whatever it was.
Whatever it's called. It's got Rock and Saga in it somewhere.
And they don't know if Junko's going to be a part of it. She's locked herself away in a far distant corner of the mansion, past all of these signs that says no zombies past this point, no, you know, like do not cross, you know, all these do not cross signs and the police tape and everything. Yeah. And she's just hidden back there. Mushrooms are growing out of her head. That's how long she's been back there.
Well, she did say at the end of episode 6 that I'd rather have mushrooms growing out of my head.
Did she?
Yeah, you kind of stepped out of the room for that one part.
Oh, oops. So she's over there. Tatsumi. What was it? Kiki Kablooey, or what was it?
Kiki Pow.
Oh yeah, Kiki Pow. He kicks through the door. He's like, Kiki Powie! Boom! Zombies are supposed to be on the other side of the barricade!
Yeah. And then, this is really weird because he starts having this heart-to-heart talk with Junko.
Like, he emotionally, in a good way. It's not like, you know, where he insults them or yells at them. He becomes like a father figure.
It's just a real departure from what we're used to seeing from Tatsumi.
He's only done this one other time, and it was to Ai. when she was upset about being brought back to life and being an idol and, having to do it all again. And he gave her the speech about, hey, you're alive.
That's debatable.
Well, no, it's like, are you going to sit there and rot or are you going to live? That little speech thing he gave her.
Yeah.
You can either rot or you can live. He does it again, and it's so weird, but it's almost touching to a degree, because he becomes this really, empathetic, sympathetic father figure to her all of a sudden. Before he basically says, "Look, you know what? Times have changed. You gotta roll with the punches. You got, time has changed, but that doesn't mean you have to sacrifice who you are." And he's like, "But I said, that we, as an idol, we have to do this." He's like, "Then just tell I as part of your character."
So, Troll King Tatsumi has this heart-to-heart with her.
It's like, "Look, when you feel ready, open that box behind you and fix the door." And then he walks out. The door he kicked down.
Troll King Tatsumi completely motivates Junko to get back into the game.
Yep.
Because they've arrived at the day that they're supposed to do the Saga Rock, and all the girls have gotten in Tatsumi's van and are ready to leave his ship off.
Oh god,
Junko's like rushing out. She's got her outfit, and she's like,
she clears a 15-foot high gate.
Yeah, she should clearly be in the NBA, but she's like, yeah, let's stop. I'm ready to go and everything. And the van's coming closer, and the van does not stop. It plows right through her.
Yeah, well, what's funny is she jumps in front of the van with her arms wide.
She's like, stop.
Boom!
Tatsumi drives right into her, and they cut to Tatsumi in the driver's seat, and he's like, yeah! I got her! It's like...
They stop the van, and Sakura and they're like, Junko! And he's like, no! Don't help her up! She gets there, she's like, I want to go too. I want to be a part of this. The episode could have ended there and I would have been fine with it.
I will never forget this as long as I live.
That face.
Even if I get dementia.
His face is just... He was just so happy that he ran it through her.
This is a good season.
And then there was actually another moment after he plows through Junko. Sakura's like, "Why does this feel familiar?"
Yeah, you did ask if that was the same truck, but it's not. However, Tatsumi could have been driving the truck.
It could have been. I don't know. So they get to Saga Rock, and Iron Frill is performing. Everyone still loves Iron Frill, apparently, even though Ai's their lead singer has been replaced. She's upset. She's obviously upset. And, of course, she starts to shake because God wants to fuck with this chick.
Yeah, there's going to be a storm.
A thunderstorm rolls in.
I just want to comment on this because I'm confused.
Okay.
Iron Frill goes out there and gives their performance,
which everyone loved. Standing ovations and clapping and cheering.
And it's in 2D.
Oh, yes.
And then...
Remember I said we were going to get to that? We're getting to that.
And then Franchosho goes out there and performs, and it's in CG.
Really bad, janky CG.
I am just really confused as to
literally when
the choices they're making
when
here.
Their arms and stuff are moving to do the formations. It literally looks like a bunch of people have mice in hands and they're clicking and dragging like they're like bad 3D models, like putting them in poses.
I just don't understand why they did one in 2D and the other in CG. Like,
and it even showed them when they were practicing.
Yeah, they were in 2D.
Yeah,
like
they were doing all the same moves, but it was in 2D. Oh, by the way, we forgot about Ai falling apart during practice.
Well, she fell apart during practice,
which is fucking hilarious.
And she's like, "Yeah, I was doing even rougher routines than this when I was alive."
They get out there. Ai is having a hard time. She can't do it. She's shaking. Everyone's like,
yeah.
they're like, man,
actually,
she is so tense. Is this the way it's supposed to be? I'm not into this.
Actually, speaking of the CG again, I was singing off key. If you noticed that,
Yeah, she was trembling. Even her voice was trembling
because she was scared. But they have them dancing in the CG, and in the crowd, they're like, "This is hard to watch."
Yes,
It's kind of like they were giving commentary on it or something.
Wait, because he says like they seem so stressed and moving so stiff. It's like, and they fucking the audience was fucking metagaming this. I loved it. They were breaking the fourth wall, and Junko like steps up.
She's like, I got your back on this.
And she takes over. She takes over the lead vocals, and they do this great set. Ai doesn't have, even though she's still concerned, she's trembling a little. Junko raises her own voice to drown out Ai's, trembling one, and they do the set very well, and it works. And people start like, oh, okay, we're digging this. Yeah. And then God apparently decides to try and help, but because the only thing God can do is like over the top, it's just lightning comes. Boom!
So
and strikes the whole stage.
That hit Ai was smaller than the lightning bolt that hits this stage.
Yes. Blows up the stage, makes all the girls glow, and auto-tunes their voices.
Yeah, they gain auto-tune from being struck by lightning.
And laser fingers. Because
when they're doing their dance numbers, when they point up into the sky, beams of light shoot out of their hands because I guess they're charged from the lightning.
While they're auto-tuned, it's so weird and fucking hilarious. And they keep... And it's driving me nuts a little bit. Every time they show the, Frown Shochu doing their moves, they're all in really bad CG, and they keep cutting to the audience who are all watching, which those two metalheads, which I love.
They bring the
and they're all
back.
and they're still all 2D. It's like these people are in different universes. And it's driving me insane. But so it felt like they were going through like the second series arc, whereas like the first series is, they get together and they're successful. Now they have to bring them down to be brought back up. And they did it all in 2 episodes. Like they fell apart and came right back together the next episode.
Well, it feels like what we're getting is just backstory and character development on all of the girls right now.
We're getting it slowly but surely, yeah.
Because we've gotten Junko and Ai, and I guess we've got some of Sakura.
We got Sakura. We have we as the audience know Sakura's background.
Yeah.
The girls don't know Sakura's background. That may come into play later. We got a little bit on Tina or whatever her name is. Saki keeps calling her Shrimpy.
That's Lily.
Lily. We got a little bit on her backstory in one episode. We got Saki's backstory.
Yeah, we got Saki. Yeah.
We don't have Yugiri's, and we don't have Tai's.
We need Yugiri and Tai, but they're doing Lily next week. So
yes, we're gonna get more on Lily next week. But yeah, that was Zombieland Saga. Why does the show continue to impress? The show that we almost skipped over, but we were like, wait, we skipped over Joshin-chan because we thought it was going to be crap, and it turned out to be awesome. Let's give this a shot. Turns out to be fucking fantastic.
I've kind of ascended to a higher plane of existence after watching this show.
My
life is complete.
Oh! Can you now obtain Super Saiyan 3 now?
I don't know about that.
So, yeah, that was Zombieland Saga.
I don't think that hairdo would really fit me.
Hey, if I can scream for 5 minutes straight and it would make my hair grow back and be really long, I'd do it.
Yeah, you just get it around the sides and...
Shut up. and I would lose hair because apparently Super Saiyan 3 has no eyebrows either.
Oh, that's true, yeah. You lose your eyebrows. And...
Oh shit, tangent! We've already gone long enough. Damn it. So, that was Zombieland Saga. Guys, gals, and everything in between. If there's one thing you've taken away from this episode is, if you're not watching Banana Fish, which shame on you if you're not, you need to be watching Zombieland Saga. Just without a doubt. Because so far, unless there was an episode I can't remember, I haven't been disappointed by this show.
There has been no episode in this show that I have like stepped back and said, "Wait a second, I didn't like this episode."
Yeah. Because every episode has Tatsumi in it, and as far as Tatsumi's there,
I mean, I hope this trend
screaming.
continues. We're 7 episodes in, so
Yes,
we have no signs of slowing down.
right. And I'm kind of sad. And when it started, we thought every episode we was going to do an Excel Saga thing, where every episode was going to make fun of a genre of thing. It seems they stepped back from that.
Well, I guess they're trying to make them into an actual idol group now.
Yes. Because even the opening credits makes it look like they're going to do making fun of a bunch of different genre of things. Because at some point they're doing a Sentai show in the opening credits. Another point they're doing an idol show. Another point they're doing, and even the first couple episodes
they
seem like
might
they're going to do
get
that.
back to that. They've got like 2 more characters to flesh out.
True.
Which will take us up to episode 9, and
No,
then
three,
they got
really.
3 episodes left.
3 more characters, because they're fleshing out Lily again. Well, further. They're fleshing it out further. So we'll see what happens. And of course, Sakura needs to be fleshed. Her story needs to be fleshed out to the girls. She has not really said her backstory to the girls because she doesn't remember her own past. Her backstory's been fleshed out to us, but not.
Well, there might be more character development for her.
Yeah, so we have at least 4 character development episodes expected. So.
Okay, yeah, that's Zombieland Saga.
Yep. If you're not watching it, you're missing out. Okay, guys. That was anime talk for weeks 5, 6, and 7. There's no more foreseeable things getting in the way between us doing an episode next week. So hopefully we just have a singular week for you where we can actually, be a little more focused instead of, jumping around. We hope you enjoyed this episode anyway. We hope you have some thoughts on the animes we've watched and the episodes we've watched. If you do, please put them in the comments below. We really love hearing from you guys. As always, if you enjoyed the episode, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, share it, or you can click on the annotations for other videos we've done. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all next time.